What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. I am Colex McHenry, and today I'm going to be showing you all a demo review of nafany in the Blast upper bracket finals here versus NAVI, and I will be specifically highlighting the third map because that is where he had the most impact here. As we can take a look at his impact rating alone, he's sitting at a nice and comfortable 2.55, and then on top of that, we'll take a look at his first kills here. He's sitting at 9 and 3 on opening duels. So those are two huge bits of statistics, and we'll take a look at how he got there. We'll take a look at this, the calling style as well of nafany, how he kind of worked the map and outmaneuvered NAVI's plans. And I'll also kind of highlight maybe, I know that Gambit is a preparation heavy team, but I'll also highlight how they've prepared for this one and the game plan that they have set in stone that was so effective versus NAVI. So we'll be covering all these details. I'll go ahead and hop it into server. We'll be starting things off with the knife round here because I kind of wanted to focus on the knife round, because there's an interesting bit here in the knife round where you will see them pick the T side of T side of Mirage. I don't know what I'm talking about. They'll pick the T side of Mirage here. I'll go ahead and just fast forward through it to highlight the fact that they do pick the T side. They win the knife round, and you'll see them type the classic dot stay, and they will remain on T side. It's very clear that they came in with a game plan. They came in ready to play, and you know, the fact that NAVI looked good on Ancient, they looked promising on Dust 2, but could not get it over the finish line is very important. And I'll also talk a little bit about the difference between Gambit and NAVI with their time preparation as well. But we'll go ahead and skip through this match pause, and I'll go over the pistol round first as well. But essentially, this pistol round is going to be a mid and B side default here from Gambit. They'll try and combine forces with Catwalk and Apartments. You'll see a top con smoke being thrown here from nafany. That'll land very nicely, comfortably towards the top of con. And on top of that, flashing himself out, blinds up Simple quite nicely, and Simple actually finds a headshot through the wall. But actually, nafany at this point is the first point of contact as of so far. He's taken the first bit of information here, given over to Simple. But we'll see that bit. He's holding an aggressive angle towards Apps. He'll just get destroyed here, and then look at this. As the timing works out for Shiro to find the opening frag on a bit, you can see where Simple's attention changes from watching Catwalk to holding towards Apartments. Now, ideally, Simple would be in more of a position around here, or maybe even like right here, so where he's not exposed to nafany. But the timing is so explosive, and nafany's spacing is so perfect that even if that was like a goal for Simple, nafany was too quick, and so essentially they catch a freebie onto Simple. That's always nice, not letting Simple get a shot off. Perfecto hits a very nice one, but can't follow up on anything else. And boom, it's just going to end up saving after Electronic goes down here. So that's the pistol round cracked open, and we're already seeing some promise in terms of spacing and strategy being put out in Gambit, and also just some nice shots hit from Shiro, starting things off with a bang. And so in this round here, we're going to see another mid-side default from Gambit. So we're already seeing some bits of conditioning being met here from Gambit. This will always be in the back of NAVI's mind, is that there's always going to be some sort of mid presence in a lot of these defaults from Gambit. And so you'll see that NAVI eventually will wise up to that. But even still, that's abused from Gambit. We'll get into that a little bit later. Here, now you start to see the bomb group up with the rest of the team. I'm focusing on Shiro's POV right now because we'll get into that in a bit. You can see that they're grouping up here. They've got the nice classic setup, and they will start to walk out. It's kind of a dry run from the three. They just throw a flashbang. They molly out their sights. Simple hits a nice tag, and now you'll see after this, attention is being drawn away from Connector and more towards the A-bomb site. Simple will kind of get himself into a tucked position where he doesn't have to watch both. But you can see with Axel's position right here, he's starting to clear out and combine efforts with nafany to kind of double peek from two different sides of Connector here. And so you can see both of these players working quite nicely together in the perfect unison to find this kill into Simple. And as soon as Simple's attention gets drawn away, mind you, nafany hasn't made a single noise, and they don't even allow for Simple to get a shot off here. It's perfectly played. And so Electronic and Perfecto forced to save. Perfecto hits an absolutely beautiful shot here onto nafany. Jumping. I don't know why you would go for him while he's jumping, but he hits it nonetheless. Well, that's it for round number 2. We'll head into round number 3 here from nafany's POV. He gets another opener in this one, heading in towards mid. It's just again against pistols here. The only ones they're looking any hot is the pistols that were saved. So nafany kind of on Mac 10 duty here. You see some aggressive setups from Electronic and Perfecto. Luckily, Electronic saw some molly, or else he'd be dead here. And now you're going to see the Mac 10 duty taken into account. nafany all the way up through catwalk. Spotted out here. Somehow he gets a kill in this situation. You'd think he was dead to rights, but hits a nasty shot onto Simple, and even Bit followed up with a molly. Now, here's where things get a little bit interesting. Electronic, he has a good round here. Deletes Axel in this position. Just destroys him. And now, this is a little bit of an unfortunate closer for NAVI. You see that Perfecto, his position was actually spotted there from Hobbit, so easy. He had to kind of swing in that position. Now, Electronic, he has an AK. He has a Molotov as well, which he could have thrown, but doesn't quite get that one off. Instead, he was comfortable taking the fight, but Shiro gives him a nice little wide swing. Crosshair wasn't quite there to find the kill. So we'll go back to nafany's POV here, where this time we'll go back to the classics. We'll go back to the mid default. This is the opening gun round right here for NAVI. This is where they've been waiting for. You know, we're off to a slow start, but now we finally have our weapons out. And we'll see what Gambit do to break apart this. Bit has committed a little bit of spam towards window, but again, very, very, very lax mid control being put forward here. In fact, there's almost none. Electronic is hinting at the idea that he might want to take a little bit of ground here, but you can see he's not too interested. And so while the round remains slow, you smoke off window. They're trying to just work the map here. They're trying to gain ground. And you will see nafany being boosted up. And here's where things get a little bit dicey. Now, you can see on your minimap that right now NAVI have the right read. They have 3 players on the B bomb site. They have that locked down. Bomb is starting to head that direction with enters. And we'll go ahead and see what kind of causes a little bit of chaos. And it's going to be nafany, of course. That's why I picked this demo. Finds this right angle peek towards Electronic. That's an easy pickup. And he starts to make his way in towards the B bomb site. And we do have Simple here. This is an easy pick for Simple. This time Axel, he doesn't have his duo of nafany with him. Instead, he just gets taken down. And we can see that the immediate adjustment here, the immediate call with 45 seconds left. This is the excellent time management of Gambit. Is they're making plenty of noise, but they know with the space that has been created here from nafany and the positions that they're now hearing on catwalk from Perfecto, Simple, and Bit, that they have a good gap in the A side defense. Because, of course, if nafany is in this position, if he's in window room, if he's even hinting at the idea of pushing through market, with that kill from Axel, they're going to be worried about the possibility of those positions. So it's forced Boomich off of the A bomb site in a good position to a very passive angle to hold A and CT spawn to a bad position. And so now with the movement being made, they hear all these footsteps. They know it's going to be A. And meanwhile, nafany's cut off the rotations through market. So this allows Gambit for full control. They know exactly where they're heading. And Shiro essentially wins the round with the Molotov here. A $400 round win. Finds the kill on the Simple as he hit the tag while he was falling off. Bit peeks into his death. Boomich finds himself a nice kill on sight, but immediately traded here. And now Perfecto is near certain death. We'll see that nafany plays even this perfectly. He will end up dying here, but the way he plays it is so well. You see at the meantime, Shiro's making his way through Palace, and while Perfecto, he hits an absolutely nasty shot onto nafany, immediately taken care of from Shiro. So the patience right there allows for the trade and makes sure that NAVI can't save any weapons. So for round number 5 here, and in this one, we're going to see just another mid default. It's just constant conditioning being put from Gambit here to make NAVI worried about the constant fear of mid control. And again, mid control so important on this map. It allows for connector splits, cat splits. We've seen both of those so far from Gambit. And so you can already see that Navi are struggling a little bit at dealing with this sort of control that Gambit is finding in the amount of space that even nafany alone is creating here. And so a good flash play will actually allow for an opening frag here. They flash Electronic and Boomich through the smoke, and Simple actually jumps out of the window. It's a really nice play to open up the round. A good bit of information gained from Axel, but he goes down without doing much damage. And so you can see that Navi, they expect more mid aggression here, but it's not going to be the case. Instead, they're working their way out of a main, and you can see that Bit, again, they're silent. Bit has no idea where the positions are right now. And now, finally, with that flashbang, he gets pinded up. It's actually a great flashbang. Hobbit takes the initial point of contact. Bit's position is now given up, and they find the trade. nafany finds both kills as well, so an eco round, but nonetheless, nafany has a good bit of impact. You take a sip of my coffee. And so, now heading into round number 6, timeout's being called. Now, what is the constant fear that Navi have at this moment? They're worried about mid control non-stop. It hasn't been afforded to them at all here so far in this game. They haven't been able to take that ground. The only round that they did take mid control, they had relative success with Axel being taken down in the previous, but other than that, they just walked out A and they abused that ground perfectly. So, what Gambit is banking on right here is that Navi will turn their resources, attention, and players towards mid control here. And it's the perfect read because in this round, they're going to leave Simple alone on A. And as you can see, Navi, or rather Gambit's reaction to this timeout being called is perfect. And they have the rounds to risk it as well. They're up 5-0. They can risk an A-side rush and get, dismantled by Simple. You don't want to ever do that. But we can see that Simple, he gets smollied off of this triple box position, so now he's forced to run away. A nade tags him as he's trying to exit. He forces him to get caught off guard with a strafe. And then Boomich finally able to trade, but now the utility starts to rain in here. And you can see already from Shiro's POV, there's a smoke being thrown here from Enters. That'll land towards the top of Khan. You'll see an amazing amount of ground being gained here from nafany as that smoke does land in his Molotov. And if you take a look at your mini-map in the top left, Axel's on the entire opposite side of the map here. And he actually played this a little slow in my opinion, but eventually he'll start to make a move. He'll find the opening pick onto Electronic. Enters follows up here with another as nafany finds his kill. And the round's won right there. Bit can't really do much. He's smoked off constantly. They just keep recycling these smokes, and he's forced to save. It's 6-0, and the timeout just gets destroyed. And Navi, they get read like a book right there in that situation. So now we're back to the mid defaults here for Gambit, and we're going to see a nice call being made as we're going to see a nice call being made from nafany here. He's going to be on the con lurk, and Hobbit right now is getting a good bit of information. They send out Axel. He gets taken down, and you can see that now we've got ourselves a 4v5 situation that favors Navi pretty heavily. As you can see, they're playing proactive. They're rotating accordingly. And Shear's kind of been spotted out with the bomb as well. And so in the meantime, the hard lurk on the extremity of Hobbit, he takes that time to trade things back here. And he finds a perfect gap on a Boomich. He catches him off guard. Now Electronic, he will be able to trade things back as he drops out. He didn't expect another play to be there. And so here comes just a great bit of individual play from nafany. Walking himself up con. Smoke lands. I don't think he's heard that. I think it's just game sense right there in that situation. Like, just knew exactly what was going down. And so on this play now, you're going to see Bit struggle with a little bit of spray and holding down this B-bomb site. Tough angle for him. Perfecto finds a trade, and Shiro is going to take down Simple, or rather, nafany's going to take down Simple on the rotate. So if you didn't catch that, sorry, I skipped over it. It's going to be a little bit scuffed, guys. This is my second time recording this, and I'm kind of I'm a little bit droning on, but we will see as Simple rotates in. nafany has stayed alive in this position, and he's going to start to rotate in towards CT as they move out towards B. This forces Simple to, of course, fall off to try and help out his team. nafany's been so patient, and so he finds the big gap right there. And so they know where Perfecto is. If they would have kept on towards B, they maybe had a chance of closing that out. But with the good time management skills, as you can see, there's still 28 seconds left on the clock. There's plenty of time to go towards A. They can just find and open up a bomb site. They don't have to take the risk of taking the fight for Perfecto. Shiro's been hearing the rotates of Perfecto all the way through underpass, and nafany just going to give him the fight. So, exactly how you want to play that situation, and they do it to perfection right now. So, a little bit of a hero wop being brought out from Simple in this round, and you'll see actually an unbelievable shot being made from Electronic. This round is truly an Electronic diff combined with some individuals from NAVI stepping up, and you would have thought maybe NAVI could have gotten some ground after this round, but we'll see a nice shot from Electronic. Finally shuts down nafany. nafany, if he would have got that entry frag, would have been absurd. But what this does is it kind of limits the approach right now that Gambit have. They don't have con presence. They don't have this window presence that they initially had on a lot of these A-side executes. So you can see that the attention from Bit, Electronic, and Boomich can all be focused on just the A-side plays, just Palace and just A ramp. So that kill essentially wins the round in a certain way. So initially you'll see Boomich getting mollied off, as well as Simple rotating in just in time. He'll find an opener. Boomich, meanwhile, has found himself a great pick. Does some good damage, takes down enters to 1 HP, and finishes it off as well. And a fun little fact is that's the first round that Shiro has died. But you see nafany give his respects where it's due. Nice shot to Electronic. It certainly was. And now you would have thought NAVI, they can come back from this one. They do a great job once again. It's a little bit of an Electronic difference in this round as well, but I'll go ahead and play it forward. Here's a great bit of timing. Good awareness from nafany, realizing that the gaps are made. Boomich with the smoke out is going to throw it down. nafany knows that he's under balk. Crouch walks out. Such a difficult angle for Boomich to hold. That smoke, he knew it was coming from a close range angle. Now Electronic finds a trade here instantly, and you can see the reaction from Gambit is to immediately slow the round down here. They're going to try to force a mistake from NAVI. It won't come, but they're also waiting on Axel's lurk here. And you would have thought Electronic was dead to rights to Axel right here, but he finds that headshot. A little bit of a misplay from Axel as he was kind of turned around as the opener was available, but all in all, just a nice shot from Electronic either way. Shiro going to be obviously saving, of course. We're talking about Shiro here. And now you're thinking 2 in a row here, only take 1 more, but timeout gets called from Gambit. They'll try and talk things over and find an adjustment. The adjustment that they'll make is going back to what has worked. And they'll kind of, once again, send nafany towards the mid-side default. And they've got the duo of Shiro and Axel over in apartments as well. So, right now, you're seeing nafany as a solo lurk towards mid. And you're going to actually see an interesting idea here. Bit is opping kind of an aggressive angle. And again, great time management being made from Gambit. I'll keep on highlighting this fact because this is something that NAVI doesn't necessarily have as well as Gambit. And you can see that kind of gets the better of their T-sides more often. We saw that in Dust as well, where their T-side executes were just always too late and the clock was getting the better of them. It's just a classic NAVI issue. So, double op. Bit takes a rough shot here. I think they jump peek this angle. Yeah. So, he doesn't connect onto it, and you can see that the molly just stops them in their tracks. They miss the flashbang, and they don't go for the B. They don't smoke the molly. You can see Axel is thinking about it, but they just give it up. They understand that they haven't wasted too much in this execute. They still have 2 smokes left and a Molotov to work with. So, they change their pace. They go to a different side of the map. And here's Electronic with a decent play to try and take matters into his own hands and not let the T side execute onto him. That's like one of the main rules of Counter-Strike. Don't let the T side execute onto you. And so that's exactly what Electronic's doing right here. Enters is going to spot him out, and you can see that he doesn't give up his life. He peeks out, but look who he's waiting for. He's waiting for nafany in towards the catwalk. Fully committed and exposed. Electronic goes down, and that's the first initial opener. They still have a good presence here on the bomb site. We can see Simple. He goes absolutely massive with his shot. 1 beautiful shot, 2 beautiful shots. Great target selection there. No idea how he does it. Truly blows my mind. Boom, it's now spotted out as well towards the back of sight. And this leaves Hobbit trying to pull off some heroics. And great rifler as he is, he's going to win that fight. Now, it is a 2v2, still doable, and you'll see they'll still go for it. But if we take a look at Shiro's POV, they'll kind of close it down here with a great couple of shots and awareness. Finds a kill onto the wall bang, peeks out towards Bit, and they double up for a nice closer. So 8-2 currently. Heading to round number 11. And now we'll get a different POV here. We'll get Axile's POV as he finds himself a massive amount of ground here. We'll kind of watch what Gambit is doing. They're conditioning this mid control. They've baited out the presence here of both Bit and Electronic to kind of hyper focus in this position. Electronic, I believe, has spotted a little bit of Axile there. I'm not sure. So definitely would have been a tough spot to see that, but we're going to see them start to edge their way in towards the B bomb site here pretty slowly. But here's where nafany, when he fails his entry, he still has a massive amount of impact, because look at the amount of damage that can be done. Flashbangs go out. Now Bit knows that there's an execute. They already know, because of Perfecto's call, that they're out of apartments here. So nafany, he gets deleted from Bit. It's a nice shot. But now look at who's left on site. Look at the ground that Axel's gained. He's going to peek this tricky angle, catches Perfecto off guard, wins the fight against Bit as well. Throws this Molotov, and that's the round over right there. You can already see they're falling off. Round over. nafany, even despite not getting a kill in that round, the trade frag that Axile was able to do, the ground that he was able to get because of nafany's sacrifice, is very important. So no small shout there, but a little bit of POV from Axile. Always nice that you can have him as your backup with your star fragger of nafany showing up. But in seriousness, back to it. Round number 12, and now you can see this game is very quickly getting out of hand for Gambit, or rather for NAVI. They are essentially getting outclassed right now, and I'm sure they can feel it. I'm sure they're feeling like they can do no right in these positions, and so far it's just been amazing reads coming through. Now number 12, well, we'll see simple in mid. This is a little bit of a simple diff. Now in this one, he does a great job. He goes back for this re-aggression, and Hobbit was not expecting it. The nade, I mean, you could say this is a little bit of luck. Maybe it's just simple magic, but he gets taken down to 1 HP. He doesn't die. And the fact that he finds 2 here is kind of absurd. Now, nafany does a great job of trading things out. You can see this angle very much favors him. We'll see that as Simple slowly peeks into it, we'll see what he can see from his POV. It's just gray. And we can see what nafany can see in this POV. He swings out into perfect timing, takes him down. And so now, they do establish a great bit of control here towards mid, but the key factor in this one is that Bit has been constantly getting their way in towards ladder. So that's a hard clear. It's always a hard clear for Tease to get into this position. So as you can see, nafany falls short. Molly goes in, Bit falls out. Shiro trying to gain some ground, and meanwhile enters, gets taken out from Perfecto. Shiro not long for this world either. Can't save, so he takes his second death of the series. Or I'm sorry, of the map, and we will see a T-side timeout immediately called here. So Gambit trying to find their footing after just one rough round, you know. Making sure they use their timeouts to perfection, and that's part of the reason they're so dominant. Always trying to plug those holes. Back towards mid, they'll go. Bit has been left in charge of this position. I believe he tries to get in towards ladder. No, this isn't around. Instead, just spamming the smoke. Electronic playing a very risky angle because we'll see where Hobbit's posted. And yeah, Bit makes a long rotate actually in towards ladder room. And here's where a great bit of reading, no pun intended, comes into play for Hobbit. You'll see Bit, he has a smoke in his hands. He's going to throw that one down towards Catwalk. And once this smoke goes down, you kind of get a read into what the goals and intentions are behind that smoke. You have to take into consideration that this smoke is essentially designed to either, one, take the fight for Catwalk, maybe towards connector, maybe towards underpass. That's a little bit of a bad play. And so, two, Hobbit is going to kind of have a read into the game, and this is part of experience. This is the value that adds, is that smoke gives up the position that Bit is trying to get his way in towards ladder room. And on top of that, the tendency of Bit is to play inside ladder room. We saw it in the last round where he succeeded from that position. And so now Hobbit's calling this over. which then leaves poor old Perfecto alone on the B bomb site. And you can see who's hunting him down. It's Axile, Shiro, and nafany. And that's a trio you never want against you here. And then once again, I mean, this is a duo take onto the B bomb site. nafany setting up the utility, but really it's just Axile left to try and hold this one off. And so you can see the nightmare scenario is that Axile's already out in towards the get right pillar, and Perfecto has taken a shot. So Perfecto is now super compromised in this position, and this is an easy fight for nafany to hold on to. Just finds the glial spray, nice control. Now Bit back of sight here. Axile's gonna win out of that fight, and immediately you see that with that market window smoke, Shiro finally having some impact with the smokes and the flashes as well. I'll give him some credit. He threw some great flashes, and of course Perfecto has been playing in that jail position every single round, so he threw the flash for that position. So with that, they capitalize off of Navi's one-dimensional holds there, and I just now noting this because the whole round Inters has been just sitting in Palace, gathering a little bit of information, giving that over. But now he's going to hear that they're all saving on A, and so you're going to start to see them hunt in. Inters has an unbelievable kill onto Boomich, which I truly don't know how he's found this one. He finds that kill, and now they're going to start to hunt Simple down. They find Simple, and now Electronic. He's going to get taken down from Shiro here. Chain to 3, and again, you're starting to see what they're dealing with. It's one-dimensional plays. It's tendencies that Gambit are abusing, and it's great reads coming through. And so another timeout going to be called. This is another interesting point here. I don't know if this was just circumstance or maybe this was just what was called over. But Navi, scared of the fast A play, stacking 3 players this time towards the A ramp. They're not allowing the same mistake to be made twice. And so we will see a play being made towards the A bomb site. Bombs left into a relatively neutral location over towards B, but they'll actually bring that one over later on towards the A bomb site. And Shiro's been ever so patient, watching A ramp, but nothing given up. And so they're going to now wait for nafany's initial lurk, and we'll see what happens here. Once the smoke fades, Simple's going to go for a little information jiggle here. You know, Simple hits the shot still, which is impressive. It's a tricky shot. But with that information, Simple sets up a relatively good play. I say relatively because it doesn't work in this situation, but you can see some promise in it. It was a good thought behind it, but the flash goes in. nafany dodges out on it, and it essentially forces Electronic to die here. That's another opening pick from nafany, and it also reveals the position of Simple as well. So you've gained a lot of ground here. Boomich has also made his presence known with the Molotov that he's thrown. And so as you can see, they're going to continue to brute force their way in towards this bomb site. Here's a big whiff right there from Bit. He was on 15 HP, and Bit wasn't able to close out on that kill. Granted, it was a lot of high pressure situations there. Like, I'm sure there was a little bit of panic ensuing. Simple finds one, and Perfecto finds the second, but now Perfecto's position is compromised here. I believe he takes down Axile as well. And so Shiro and Hobbit, they both know exactly where Perfecto is. They flash him off. They get to cross as well. Safely so. Punching those numbers. And now, you know, the round gets pretty tricky here. And so you see a little bit of a chat here. Bit, I'm not going to even try to read that, but we'll go ahead and hop over to Google Translate here, and I'll show you exactly what he typed. The best translation I could find, I believe, was in Bulgarian, and I'm not even sure if that one is necessarily correct. But I will hop into the screen here, and it said, "Bit, did you bet?" is the translation in general that I got. Let me pull it up so that you guys can see it. But a little bit of a funny shout right there from nafany. Love to see it. But back into game there. I just wanted to shout that one out because I thought it was funny. On top of that, you had a little post-game interview with nafany saying he said GG at the halftime, which I'll show you. But he did apologize for it, so respecting your opponents and, of course, respecting what is now the second best CIS team, whereas Gambit have taken their place now. But once again, we're going to take a look at a slow mid default. This time it's just against pistol players, so you do expect them to close this one out. They haven't struggled so far against the Ecos. Just one round I think they've lost, and it was kind of some heroics from electronic and nice shots from Simple and Boomich. So nafany's going to get himself in prime position here, once again towards ladder, and we'll see how he uses this position, as Axile's very committed to this B-side lurk. He's on the extremity. He's trying to gain some ground here. And so you will see him get taken down from Perfecto. It's a nice kill. It's a really important one, as if he goes down, that's pretty much the round over. You can rotate off as Matisse. You're already seeing Zero start to move that way. But look at who cuts off the rotations here. It's nafany, who's posted up towards Catwalk, and he finds the immediate trade. Now Simple's pushed his way through underpass, and the trades go out towards the A bomb site, but Bit doesn't find any success here. And now you're going to see Simple, who's on the late lurk. He's already been heard from nafany, and they'll start to just molly him and smoke him off here. So forced to push through the smoke now, and you can see that's easy to pick up for enters. But that's exactly how they were able to outclass them in such an unbelievable fashion. Something that I haven't seen in quite some time for NAVI. Right there, they get pretty much destroyed on the decider. And again, they haven't had any success against Gambit on Mirage, but still very impressive showcase right there from the likes of nafany, and essentially pulled Gambit across the finish line with the calling and with the impact frags that he had. But that's all I have for you all today. Thank you all so much for tuning in, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe. I'll be trying to do more of these, but in the meantime, leave a comment if you have anything to suggest. And yeah, I hope you all have a great day. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all soon. Peace.